Have you ever thought your morning water could harm you when you skip one simple thing? Most of us have been told for years that starting the day with a big glass of water is one of the healthiest habits we can have. And while that's true in some ways, there's a side to this story that rarely gets mentioned, especially for older adults. The truth is, if you're not careful, this very habit could be doing more harm than good. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 common misconceptions people have about drinking water in the morning. They're the kind of mistakes that might seem small at first, but over time they can lead to bloating, blood pressure spikes, digestive issues, or even nutrient loss. If you've ever felt lightheaded after a glass of water, or wondered why your stomach gets upset even when you're eating clean, one of these may be the reason. You'll learn what's really happening in your body when you drink water after waking up, how it affects your heart, stomach, and metabolism, and why correcting these misunderstandings can help you feel better throughout the day. Stay with us until the end, because what you'll discover here may not only protect your health, but change how you start every morning for the rest of your life. Let's get into it. Mistake 1. Drinking too much water too quickly on an empty stomach. One of the most common habits people fall into, often with the best intentions, is drinking a large glass of water all at once right after getting out of bed. It might seem harmless. After all, we're told to hydrate as soon as we wake up. But what many people don't realize is that for older adults, this sudden flood of cold or room temperature water can send the body into a kind of shock. When the stomach is completely empty, it's not prepared to handle a quick rush of liquid. Your digestive system is still waking up. Your blood pressure is adjusting from lying down to standing. And your circulation is shifting from a resting state to active. Pouring in a lot of water at once can confuse the body's rhythm. In some cases, it can even cause a spike in blood pressure, especially in people with heart conditions or vascular sensitivity. Think about what happens when a dry sponge is hit with a full stream of water. It doesn't absorb right away. It needs to soften, to adjust. Your stomach is no different. When the water comes in too fast, it often passes through too quickly, triggering a flush response before the body has time to properly absorb or regulate anything. That can lead to feelings of dizziness, nausea, or an unsettled stomach, especially for people over 60. What's more, older adults often deal with something called orthostatic hypotension, a drop in blood pressure when standing up. Adding a sudden volume of water on top of that can create a pressure mismatch in your system. You may feel faint, overly full, or even experience mild chest discomfort, especially if you have underlying cardiovascular concerns. Ruth, a 71-year-old woman from Indiana, shared that she used to drink a full glass of water the moment her feet hit the floor every morning. She thought it was helping her stay regular and flush out toxins, but she started noticing that she'd feel lightheaded shortly afterward, sometimes even needing to sit back down. Her doctor suggested splitting her hydration into smaller sips and spacing it out during the first hour after waking. Within a week, those dizzy spells disappeared. So what's the smarter approach? Start with a few sips, maybe a quarter cup. Let your body adjust. Walk around a bit, then gradually finish your glass over the next 30 to 45 minutes. This gives your system time to activate, allowing your kidneys, digestive organs, and cardiovascular system to respond in sync. You'll feel steadier, and you'll actually absorb more of what you drink. And don't worry, you're not falling behind on hydration. You're simply working with your body's rhythm instead of forcing it into overdrive. As with many things in life after 60, slower and steadier often wins the race. Mistake 2. Starting your day with cold water slows digestion and tightens circulation. A tall glass of ice water might sound refreshing, especially first thing in the morning. But if you're over 60, That chilly drink could be doing your body more harm than good. Temperature matters, especially when it comes to your internal organs that are just beginning to stir after a night of rest. And here's the truth. Cold water can actually slow down key processes your body needs to get going. When you drink cold water on an empty stomach, it can cause the blood vessels around your stomach to constrict. That tightening effect makes digestion less efficient. The body has to work harder just to warm up the fluid and bring your system back to a functional temperature. This delay affects not only how quickly your body absorbs water, but also how it processes your first meal of the day, if you eat breakfast soon after drinking it. It's not just about digestion, though. Cold water in the morning also affects circulation. As we age, our blood vessels become less flexible. They don't expand and contract as easily as they used to. Drinking cold water forces them to constrict further, which can make your hands and feet feel colder, slow down your heart's rhythm, and in some cases, lead to a sluggish feeling that's hard to shake for the rest of the morning. There's also an effect on your nerves. Your vagus nerve, which connects your brain to many parts of your body, including the stomach, is sensitive to extreme temperatures. When cold water touches the back of your throat and travels down, it can cause the nerve to briefly overreact. Some people experience a momentary drop in heart rate or feel faint, and most never trace it back to something as simple as water temperature. Frank, a 76-year-old veteran from Arizona, used to start each day with ice water straight from the fridge. He figured it was the best way to wake up his system, but he noticed that he often felt bloated. His stomach would gurgle, and his hands would stay cold, even by lunchtime. When he switched to lukewarm water, a habit he picked up during a trip to visit family overseas, those symptoms vanished. "It wasn't dramatic," he said, "but I just felt better, more balanced." The ideal water temperature in the morning is close to body temperature, somewhere between warm and room temperature. Not hot, not cold, just neutral enough to encourage healthy circulation, gentle digestion, and smoother absorption. It's a small change that can have a big impact, especially when done consistently over time. And remember, your body has just spent hours resting, repairing, and cooling itself overnight. What it needs first thing isn't shock. It needs support. Something gentle, something grounding. A warm cup of water with a slice of lemon, or even just plain room temperature water, sends a very different message to your system than something cold and jarring. So if you're trying to support your digestion, improve your circulation, or just start your day with more calm and clarity, leave the ice cubes for later. Your stomach and your heart will thank you. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Mistake 3. Not checking your water source or container for safety. There's something we tend to take for granted as we get older, that the water coming out of the tap or sitting in our favorite glass is always clean and safe. But the truth is, if you're drinking water first thing in the morning without checking where it came from or how it was stored overnight, you might be doing your body more harm than good. Let's start with the source. Many homes, especially older ones, still have pipes that contain lead, rust, or buildup from years of wear. If your water has been sitting in the pipes overnight, the first thing that comes out of the faucet might contain small particles you don't want to be drinking, especially on an empty stomach when absorption is at its highest. This is even more important for those using well water or living in areas where the tap water quality can vary. And then there's the container itself. If you're like many people, you might leave a glass or a plastic bottle of water by your bed to drink first thing in the morning. That's convenient, sure. But have you ever checked what's settled at the bottom or noticed a slightly stale taste? Overnight exposure to dust, air, and even bacteria from your own mouth can contaminate water more than you'd think. And if that water's in a plastic bottle that's been reused too many times, there's a chance chemicals have begun to leach into it, especially if the bottle isn't meant for long-term use. This is especially important for older adults with weakened immune systems. What the body used to tolerate or filter out with ease can now cause mild discomfort, digestive upset, or even inflammation in the gut. And because the effects are so subtle, most people never connect it back to the water they drank first thing that morning. Ellen, a 68-year-old from Virginia, told me she used to keep a pitcher by her bedside and refill her glass from it each morning. But she started waking up with a mild sore throat and a strange taste in her mouth. After a routine checkup and no obvious cause, her doctor suggested she try switching to fresh water poured in the morning. Within a few days, the symptoms disappeared. It wasn't the water itself. It was how long it had been sitting and what it had picked up while sitting there. So, what can you do? First, if you're using tap water, let it run for 10 to 20 seconds before filling your glass. This flushes out anything that's been sitting in the pipes. Second, if you're storing water by your bed, use a clean covered container and rinse it every day. Avoid reusing old plastic bottles. Glass or stainless steel is best. And always fill it with filtered or freshly poured water, not leftover from the day before. These may sound like small details, but they matter, especially when your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day. Hydration should help you feel better, not introduce silent risks. And when you start treating your water with the same care you give your food, you'll notice the difference, not just in how you feel, but in the peace of mind that comes with knowing you're protecting yourself from the inside out. Mistake 4. Drinking water before food can flush out nutrients and medication. There's a widespread belief that drinking water first thing in the morning flushes out toxins and resets your body for the day. While staying hydrated is definitely important, there's a flip side to this habit that most people don't think about, especially if you're taking medications or vitamins, or if you're waking up with an empty stomach that hasn't been fed yet. When you drink a large amount of water on an empty stomach, especially if it's the first thing your system receives after 7 or 8 hours of fasting, it can actually dilute your stomach acid. That acid is crucial not just for breaking down food, but also for making sure your body absorbs the nutrients it needs. Without enough acid, even if you eat a healthy breakfast later, your body may struggle to take in important vitamins like B12, calcium, or iron. But it goes beyond that. Many older adults take medication in the morning: blood pressure pills, thyroid medication, cholesterol drugs, or daily supplements. If those pills are taken with a lot of water before anything else has entered the stomach, they may move through the system too quickly or become less effective. Water can flush the medication into the intestines before the body has had time to properly process it, reducing the benefit you're supposed to be getting. Sometimes you may even feel a little queasy after taking a pill with water and no food. That's not just bad luck. It's a signal from your stomach that it's unprepared. For some medications, taking them without food can lead to mild irritation of the stomach lining. Over time, that irritation can turn into discomfort that you chalk up to just getting older, when in fact, it's something preventable. Let me tell you about Joseph, a 73-year-old from Illinois. He was taking his blood pressure medication every morning with a tall glass of water, just like his doctor told him. But he often felt bloated an hour later, and his breakfast didn't seem to sit well. After reviewing his routine with a nutritionist, he switched to eating a small bite of something, like a banana or a piece of toast, before taking his pills, and spaced his water intake out more gradually. The difference? He said he felt more stable and more comfortable within days. If you're someone who prefers to drink water before eating, and many do, just be aware of how much, how fast, and whether your medications are involved. You don't have to skip your hydration, you just have to be smart about it. Try starting with a few sips, then eat a little food, something light like oatmeal or a boiled egg, before continuing with more water and any medications. This approach helps your body retain electrolytes, digest nutrients more effectively, and keeps your stomach calm. The idea that more water equals more cleansing sounds appealing, but your body doesn't work like a bathtub being rinsed. It needs balance, it needs timing, and most of all, it needs support, not pressure, first thing in the morning. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Mistake 5. Relying on water alone to wake up the body instead of moving. Many people believe that the simple act of drinking water first thing in the morning will automatically wake up their system. And while water does help rehydrate the body after a night's rest, it's not the whole story, especially as we get older. If you're over 60 and depending on water alone to kickstart your day, you may be missing one of the most essential parts of morning wellness: movement. You see, overnight your circulation slows down, your joints stiffen, your digestion pauses, your body temperature drops. Drinking water, even in the right way, can only do so much if you remain seated or lying down for too long. It's movement, gentle, consistent, intentional movement, that truly helps wake up the heart, muscles, and metabolism. Think about how a stream moves. If it stays still, it gets cloudy. But when it flows, it clears. Your body needs that same gentle flow to signal the systems inside that it's time to start functioning again. This is especially true for the digestive system. Without movement, water can just sit in the stomach, especially if there's no food to push it forward. That's why some people experience bloating, gas, or sluggishness even after doing all the right things with their morning routine. Mild physical activity, like stretching, walking around the house, or even doing arm circles while seated, stimulates blood flow and helps your organs receive the hydration they need more effectively. When you combine water with movement, your body responds better. Your kidneys wake up. Your bowels start to shift. Your skin gets warmer. Your energy rises in a way that doesn't rely on caffeine or sugar. Take Martin, an 80-year-old in Wisconsin, who shared that he used to sip water in his recliner every morning and wait to feel better. But he always felt groggy until mid-morning. After learning about the importance of movement, he began walking a few laps around his house while sipping warm water instead. It became his daily ritual, and within a week, he said his mornings felt lighter and his digestion more regular. This isn't about exercise in the traditional sense. It's not about raising your heart rate or working up a sweat. It's about reintroducing motion into a body that's been still for hours. That simple act of standing, walking to the kitchen, stretching your arms, or rolling your shoulders does more for your circulation than water alone ever could. The key takeaway here is that hydration works with your body, not in place of it. A glass of water is only one part of the wake-up process. It's not the switch, it's the fuel. And the real switch is movement. So tomorrow morning, don't just reach for the glass. Reach for the habit of gently moving your body. Let the water support your energy, but let your steps carry it where it needs to go. You'll feel the difference. not only in your digestion or energy, but in your overall rhythm as the day begins. Final thoughts. By now, you've probably realized that something as simple as drinking water in the morning isn't quite as simple as it sounds. When done thoughtfully, it can support your body in incredible ways. But when done based on common myths or rushed routines, it can quietly make your mornings harder than they need to be. We've talked about 5 common misunderstandings: drinking too much water too fast, starting with cold temperatures, not checking the source or storage, flushing your system before food or medication, and relying on water without movement. Each of these mistakes comes from good intentions, but they can leave you feeling off balance, tired, bloated, or even dizzy, especially if you're over 60. What stood out to you the most? Was there one habit you recognized in your own routine, or something you'd never considered before? The goal isn't to make you feel bad about what you've been doing, but to give you the insight and tools to feel better moving forward. That's the real gift of knowledge. It gives us back control. Because at this stage in life, we're not trying to do things the hard way. We're trying to do them the right way, gentler, smarter, and more in tune with what our bodies need now, not what worked 30 years ago. And that's what today's message is all about. So tomorrow morning, take your time. Start slow. Sip warm water instead of guzzling it. Move around instead of sitting still. Eat something small before your medication, and take a moment to appreciate the fact that you're giving your body the kindness it's earned. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.